All right. Hello, my name's Tracy. This is a 45-minute practice. We're going to get into the whole body. So stabilizing the pelvis and then moving from there. So working with a strong core. As always, listen to your body, do what feels good and don't do what doesn't feel good. But yeah, we're going to get through everything. We're going to mobilize all of our joints and just feel good. So let's begin on our back with your knees bent and your feet on the ground. So just like you're almost going to come into a bridge pose, but find a place that your legs can be comfortable and your arms. And then rest your hands maybe at the top of your thighs or even at the pelvic bones there, front pelvic points. Close your eyes or have a soft gaze at the ceiling. And we're going to start with some breath work today, just nice and easy, 4-part breath. Empty your lungs. Draw the air in through your nose for a count of 3. And then hold your breath for a count of 3. Empty out through your nose for a count of 3. Hold your breath out, just counting to 3 in your mind. And then do it again. Breathe in through the nose, fill up. Hold the breath. And then empty out. Hold the breath out. And then one more time, fill up. Pause and hold the breath. And then empty out. Hold the breath out. And then breathe in. All right, and then bring awareness to your skull, your shoulder blades, and your sacrum. So you have these 3 bony landmarks, and you have the feedback from the ground. So we want to feel them level. So basically lift your head, tuck your chin. So you're drawing your chin in towards your throat to elongate the back of your neck. Rest the back of the skull down. And then scooch the shoulder blades down and towards your spine. And then press your feet into the ground and just lift your sacrum up an inch or so and then lower back down. We hear the word sacrum a lot in yoga. I feel like I've never heard that word before I started practicing yoga, but it's that bone, triangular shaped bone at the back of your pelvis. So I refer to it a lot as a point of reference. So we want to have all these bones level. And then you might feel your abdominal muscles engage just a bit in order to keep all this level and to keep your pelvis in a neutral position. Rest the hands at the low belly or at the thighs where they were, and then push into your feet, lift into a very low bridge. So you're lifting enough that your glutes are active. So you might feel around, just make sure that you can feel those muscles kind of turn on. You're pushing your glutes up into your hands. And then let's begin to lift and lower the heels. So we're going to start to awaken up the feet, the ankles, the calves. Just lift and lower a couple more times. So you're pushing into the ball mounds of the feet, which is a big energetic point where we kind of push off into different poses or press and lift from those feet. Let's go ahead and lower the heels. Keep the hips lifted, and then your right thumb's gonna go into your hip crease as you lift your right knee into flexion. Flex at the ankle, shin is parallel, and then external and internal rotation in your hip. So we're just mobilizing at the hip joint, but we're keeping the pelvis neutral and stable. We're not moving the pelvis at all. Come back to center, foot down. Same thing, left thumb into your crease and then lift that leg, flex the ankle, external and internal rotation. So you're still working the glutes, you're pressing your right foot down, working that glute, then come back to center and lower. Let's do the right side again, lift up, open and close, external, internal rotation with flexion. And then take external rotation, ankle crosses over left thigh. So you're coming into a figure four in a low bridge. Then we're gonna take the hands to the tops of the thighs and kind of just push the tissues away. So you're gonna feel a little more maybe space in that hip flexors and then that outer hip on the right. Kind of give yourself a little massage on those legs and just kind of stretch the tissues down. And then come back to center, release that leg and lower. Same thing other side, left leg lifts, external, internal rotation just a few times. And then come to external and cross ankle over into your little figure four here in this bridge. And then same thing, kind of push the thighs away, kind of rub the tops of the legs and the into your hip flexors here. And then push and hold. Keep that right glute active. And then come on back to center, lower. And then let's keep the bridge lift. Take your hands up to the sky, like you're saying stop to the ceiling. And then let's stretch the wrist. Left hand on top of the right, push the heel of the hand away. Up, push it up. So we're stretching the fingers, the palm, the wrist, the forearms, preparing our hands and wrists for weight bearing, and switch sides. Right hand on top of left, push the heel of the hand up. Keep gripping through your glutes, keep working through the glutes here, pressing the feet down, building some heat in the lower body. And then release, lower your back, your hips, and then raise your legs up towards the ceiling. Keep your arms reaching up, so it's like dead bug pose, and then make fists and roll out your ankles and wrists. Mobilizing these joints and go the other way, just kind of feeling into the forearms here a little bit, the ankles, into your calves even. Good. And then bring the feet down, knees bent. Take the hands behind your head. So we're going to start to awaken the deep core muscles. Interlace the fingers. Have your elbows actually point more up. We want this work as we lift the shoulder blades, we want the work to happen from the low belly. So I talked about the diamond center last week and the week before. So we still want to focus on that area. We're going to add in some mobility through the legs. So take an inhale breath. And then as you exhale, shoulder blades lift without pulling on the head. Use that diamond center, that low belly, to pull into midline and down towards your spine, and then lower down. Inhale. Exhale, you lift. Stay, lift your right knee, external, internal rotation. So same thing that we just did in our bridge pose. And then bring it to center, foot down, head down, inhale. Exhale, lift. Left leg is gonna lift, external, internal rotation. Keep hugging through the low belly, pulling it down. Come back to center, lower foot, lower head, breathe in. Exhale, lift, right leg lifts, external, internal rotation again, and then take figure four. Lift your left foot off the floor. So we're not gonna lift the hips at all. The sacrum's not gonna lift off the floor. Inhale, tap your heel, lower your head. Exhale, bring everything towards center, midline. Inhale, tap and lower, exhale, bring it in. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Try to lift those shoulder blades nice and high. Last one. And lower, unwind. Head down, release. Inhale, breath. Exhale, head and shoulder blades lift. Left leg lifts, external, internal rotation. And then ankle crosses, figure four. Pick up your right foot. Sacrum stays. Inhale, tap heel, head lowers. Exhale, lift. Everything into midline, but without lifting the hips. Tap the heel, exhale, bring it together. Head and face towards the legs. Last two. Last one. And unwind. Hug the knees and knee the chest. If you'd like, you can take a happy baby pose here, or hug the knees in. Just do what serves you right now. Maybe a little rocking side to side, maybe little circles, massaging the kind of outer rim of that sacrum. And then come to center, release if you have happy baby, and roll up. We're gonna come up to a cross-legged seat just for a moment, just get into our neck a little bit. So just sitting comfortably. Sit up nice and tall, and then bring your chin down towards your chest, and then roll ear to shoulder, and then come back down through center, other ear to shoulder. So you can stay with this, or you can begin to circle the head. It's like you're using the tip of your nose to trace a circle. Just going one way, nice and slow. And then once you get enough to that side, go the other way. Or continue to do the half circles. Last time. Okay, chin to center, lift the head. Let's come forward into tabletop, hands and knees pose. Right away, we want to lift the front. So lifting the diamond center, lifting the belly, lifting the rib cage away from the ground. Inflate the space between your shoulder blades. Wrap your upper arm bones in so you're really active in your tabletop. And then let's lift our left leg out to the side. So hip abduction and then bring it down. Just like old school Jane Fonda little fire hydrants here. So when we do this, we want to try to keep our pelvis as neutral as possible and stable. Last two. So we're really just moving the femur bone in the hip socket, and then lower that knee. Let's do the other side. Right leg out, bring it in, maybe flex the ankle. Try not to open the hip up towards the ceiling. We're keeping that pelvis neutral. Last two. And then the chin is drawing into the throat. So remember, lower the knee. Remember those 3 bony landmarks. Same thing here. Try to level those places out. Tops of the feet down or tuck your toes. It's up to you. Sit back just for a moment. Let's give our wrists a little love. Forearms together, fingers interlaced, and we figure eights. So you can be sitting on the tops of your feet, or you can have your toes tucked under, getting a stretch. Go the other way with your figure eights. And then let's come on back to tabletop. So this move that we're doing, we'll do it in our sequence. We're gonna do it here a few times. Left leg is gonna lift into your fire hydrant. And then, so you've got external rotation. Then you're gonna internally rotate and land. So you kind of have a kickstand. Right leg will step back, right arm's gonna reach. Maybe the leg lifts, okay? If you feel kind of unsteady, keep that foot on the floor. Level sacrum, shoulder blades, and skull. And then let's repeat. Come back to center, reset. Left leg lifts, internal, punch and kick with that right arm and leg. And then reset one more time. Left, internal, land the knee, punch and kick. And then come back, reset. Same thing, let's just do the right side just to practice it. Right leg lifts, internally rotate, left leg, left arm, stay. So you can be here, foot on the ground, or lift the leg. Sacrum, shoulder blades, skull level, so the chin draws back towards the throat, belly hugs in. Come back and reset and table. Let's do it 2 more times. Right leg lifts, internal land, punch and kick. Come back, reset. One more, right leg out, internal, punch and kick. Good, and then reset. From here, come down to your forearms. We're gonna take dolphin pose. Palms can be on the mat, or if you like to interlace your hands, totally fine. Inflate the space between your shoulder blades and let your head drop. Tuck your toes, push your forearms and elbows into the ground. So you're not collapsing in your shoulders. Everything is strong. And then lift your knees, lift your pelvis and your sacrum up towards the ceiling, and then begin to tiptoe your feet in a little closer to the front of your mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to, but lift the sacrum. So just bring awareness to that triangular shaped bone there and lift it up. And then we'll lift and lower our heels here. Then you can look at your ankles. You want to create nice deep wrinkles in the front of the ankles as your heels come towards the mat. So dorsiflexion. We want to have mobile joints to keep us healthy and moving well as we get older. Pause, and then look forward. Lift your elbows up, press into your hands, straighten your arms. You're going to drag your hands back towards your feet until your heels meet the ground, and bend your knees a lot, belly to your thighs. So you've got all this support. This is called a happy squat. Let your head drop between your biceps. Reach your fingertips forward. It reminds me of a forward fold and a downward facing dog. It's a squat though, so the hips are going to be higher than the knees. We've got the belly resting over the thighs so that we can find some release in the low back. This especially feels good if you have really tight hamstrings. And then let's bring the hands to the feet. We're going to slide the hands up the legs as we stand up. Bring those hands to the pelvic points, those bones right there in front. And then triple flexion. So as you hinge, we're keeping those 3 bony landmarks level. We're going to hinge at the hip, bend at the knees and the ankles. Come down, belly to thighs. And then slide the hands back up the legs and do that a couple more times. Push the glutes into the hands as you stand up and then come down and back up. Down again and back up. Come down, walk your hands forward to downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide. Gaze back towards your feet. Make sure the toes are facing forward. And then reach through the arms as you lift your hips and you lift your sacrum. You lift the pelvis up. It's the peak of the pose. And then feel free to move a little bit. So if you want to bend into the knee, pedal out the feet, maybe raise up the heels and roll onto the toes, or sway the hip side to side. Whatever feels good in your body. Rock forward into high plank pose. Pause. Push the earth away, inflate the space between the shoulder blades, and then fire up your legs. And then hug your belly up and in, away from the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, knees come down, belly down. Tops of the feet down, reach your arms back. We're gonna take a low locust pose. So the legs will lift, the arms kind of reach back, the chest lifts a little bit, then make fists and roll out your ankles and wrists again, just like we did earlier on our back. But now we are strengthening the back side of our body as we mobilize our joints. Go the other way. And then release, hands next to your rib cage. Push yourself up and back for child's pose. Just a couple breaths here, sending those hips towards the heels, reaching the arms, forehead to the mat. You might shimmy a little bit side to side, kind of feel into those hip flexors, feel into your low back, and then pause and take a breath. And let it go. We'll come on up to table and then make our way to down dog. And then we'll step the feet forward, top of the mat. Knees hip width apart here. Press the feet into the ground, bend your knees, and push down to reach your arms up to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your hands home to your heart. Samasti Tihi. Take a breath in. Let it go. Good. Inhale, reach up, look up. Big stretch. Bend your knees, hinge and fold. Uttanasana. Right leg steps back, knee down, top of that foot down, 90-90 lunge. Arms reach forward and up. Right away, energetically drag your front foot back and your back knee forward. So we're going to engage our legs. Pelvis is stable. Right glute is active. And you can feel the strength in the legs here. And then make a fist with your right hand, grab your right wrist, reach up and over, side body stretch. Create length on that right side first before you start to laterally bend here in your spine. And then come back to center, release, hands out in front, step back to plank pose. Take a breath. Lower, knees down, belly down. Tops of the feet glued to the mat, cobra pose. Drag the heels of the hands back to peel the heart. And then tuck toes, push up and back, down dog. Lift the sacrum. Step your right foot forward. Left knee down, top of the left foot down, arms reach forward and up, breathe in. Right away, engage the legs. As if you're trying to drag the front foot back and the back knee forward, left glute turns on. Make a fist with your left, grab a hold of that wrist. Inhale, reach up, 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 and over. Exhale. And stay. Big breath into that left side. And exhale, come to center. Release, hands out in front, tuck your back toes, step forward and fold. Press the feet down, stand up, inhale. Dive right back down, Uttanasana, exhale. Left leg goes back, knee down, top of the foot. This time, just come on up. Arms don't reach to the sky, just lift your torso. And then we're gonna roll the shoulders back. So legs are active, that glute is turned on. You're pressing your front foot down and trying to drag it back, but you're not really moving it. And then just move here. Let your rib cage kind of move, but keep the pelvis stable and still and strong. Good. And then release your hands down in front, step back, plank. So option to add a push-up. I'm gonna just suggest to not rock forward in your push-up when you come into chaturanga, but to keep the shoulders over the wrists, bend your elbows and lower, and then come all the way down. Rocking forward can create some injuries in the shoulders, so just be mindful of that. And I know that we've heard that cue for years. Take your back bend, maybe lift into up dog, and then down dog. Pull the hips up and back. Step your left foot forward, right knee down, top of the foot down, and then lift your torso. Now we're gonna engage the legs and then we'll just roll the shoulders forward. And if you happen to do forward last time, then roll them back this time. And remember, we want to kind of get into the tissues of the rib cage too, and the shoulders, but the pelvic area is staying still. Come back to center. Reach your hands out in front, tuck your back toes, step forward and fold. Push the feet down, stand up. Dive right back down, exhale. We'll continue this journey. Right leg goes back, come into a low lunge. Plant your right hand, sweep your left arm up for a simple twist or a crescent lunge twist here. Try to keep your pelvis neutral, right glute active. So you can even reach back for a second with that left hand. Feel that glute turn on and work. And then think of rotating your rib cage and not twerking on the low back. Good. And then we're going to take a quarter turn to the right, all the way into that right leg for a lateral lunge. Right thumb into your right hip crease and then sink back. Long spine, pulse into that right leg. Feeling some pull on that inner thigh of the left leg. Last two, one. Turn back around to the front, low lunge. Right knee comes down to the mat. Left knee steps back so you're in table. And here's that move. Left leg hip abduction, internal rotation, right arm, right leg, punch and kick. Two more, come back to center, reset. Leg lifts, internal land, right arm, right leg, strong, and then reset. One more, lift, land, punch and kick. So if your top leg is down, that's fine. Just lift it up for a second. We're gonna step that right foot forward, turn to the left, goddess pose. So you're coming up onto your feet. I think this is almost the first time we're up on our feet. Knees and toes turn out, heels turn in, sink. And then notice if you're tilting, you wanna not let your pubic bone tilt down and back. Have it just a little more tilting up towards your navel. And then hands to your thighs, right shoulder will press. I'll mirror you, so I'm using my left, but right shoulder presses down towards the floor. Come to center, and then left shoulder will press. And then come to center. Turn to the front, so you're coming back into your low lunge. Right leg sweeps up and back, three-legged dog. So it doesn't have to be your highest lift here in that leg. I'd rather you keep a neutral pelvis, the leg really strong. So the foot is flexed, you're pushing back through your heel, reaching through your arms. And then right foot lands to the ground. Begin to drag your hands back, coming into your happy squats. You're going back, 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 knees stay bent, belly to thighs, weight and heels, and then head drops between the upper arm bones. Big breath into your mid and upper back. Exhale, hands to your feet. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs, stand up, push those pelvic points into your hands, and then triple flexion, come right back down. Come on up and go down. Walk the hands forward, high plank pose. We're gonna come all the way into high plank. Strong left leg, float your right toes. So flexion in your hip here without rounding your spine. Bring your knee in towards your belly and then send your leg straight back. Now leg abduction. Take that right leg off to the side and bring it back. Center, knee to belly without rounding. Send it back, out to the side, center, knee in, last one, out and side, center, lower the toes. Maybe push up, maybe come all the way down to your belly. Take your back bend of choice. Glutes are active to support your low back, and then downward facing. Pause, just take a breath. Strong arms, lift the sacrum. Inhale, lift the heels high. Look forward, bend your knees a lot. Exhale, step 1, 2, or hop top of your mat. All the way up, inhale. Do other side, exhale, fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Plant your left hand, wrap that upper arm bone in so that shoulder's strong. And then turn on your left glute there, so it's working. Right arm reaches for your twist. And again, use that same feeling of trying to hug or drag your front foot back to feel more of your leg muscles turn on there. Rotate through the rib cage. Turn the gaze to the side or up. And then let's take a quarter turn all the way around to the left, lateral lunge into that left leg. Right fingertips can be on the mat, left thumb into that left hip crease, and then push the pelvis back. And then little pulses. Front toes can be grounded, or you can lift them and come up onto your heel like in a high skandasana, and just feel what's happening in these legs. Last 2. Turn to the front, low lunge. Left knee down, right knee back, table. Here's that move. Right leg out, internally rotate, land. So you have that kickstand, left arm, left leg, punch and kick. Come back to center, reset. 2 more. Out, in, punch and kick. 1 more, reset. Lift, lower, punch and kick. If your top leg is on the ground, lift it, step it forward, turn to the right, goddess pose. Toes out, knees out. Sink the hips. Turn your arms, extend your arms out. Palms face forward, and then we're just gonna rotate here. So you're gonna go in and out, in and out. Try to just move that humerus bone in the socket here. Last 3, 2, keep working the legs. 1, turn to the front, low lunge. 3-legged dog. Sweep that left leg up. Push the heel back, strong legs. Reach to the arms, lift the sacrum. And then left foot meets right, walk the hands back, happy squat. Drop the head, big breath into the back. Hands to your feet, inhale, slide up. Glutes push into the hands and then slide back down. 1 more time, come on up. Slide down, walk your hands forward, high plank pose, push the earth away. Left toes float, so your right leg's nice and strong. Without rounding your back, see if you can bring your thigh into your belly. Send the leg straight back and then take it off to the side. Hip abduction, come back to center. Knee in, thigh to belly, send it back. Leg abduction, straight leg out to the side, then center. Last time, hug it in, send it back. Out to the side, center, lower, push up, all the way to the belly, tops the feet down, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Lift the heels, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. All the way up, inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. All right, let's add on to this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Right leg back. Simple twist, inhale. Exhale, turn all the way to the right into your lateral lunge. Turn back to the front, inhale, low lunge. Right knee down, left knee back, table. Move one time, lift your left leg out, internally rotate, land. Right arm, right legs, punch and kick. Step that front foot forward, turn, 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 goddess pose. Sink the hips. Inhale, breath, arms reach. Exhale, turn to the front, low lunge. Option, three-legged dog or dolphin. Sweep that right leg up. Elbows can come down. And then hug that lifted leg into the belly, so bend the knee and make circles, keeping the pelvis still, and then go the other way. Circling at the hip. Send the leg straight back, breathe in. Foot lands, breathe out. Elbows lift. If you're in dolphin, drag your hands back, happy squat. Inhale, big breath into your mid and upper back. Exhale, hands to your feet. Inhale, stand up, slide the hands up the legs, and pause. Plant your left foot and lift your right knee. So start to work on a little bit of balance here. Send your right leg out long, extension, and then land the foot, pick up your left knee. So we're walking towards the top of our mat. Hands can be at your pelvis, point the toes, extend, land. Right knee lifts, and stay. We're gonna come into flexion in the ankle, figure four. Ankle crosses, hands at the pelvis, push your pelvis back. So you sit back. Good, and an option here is to take your right hand to the front of your left shin, your left hand to the sole of the right foot, and then push into these things. So you have feedback in the body. You might feel more of an opening in your outer hip, or like an uncorking, as one of my newly favorite teachers says. Push, push, and then come up, both feet to the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Left leg goes back, simple twist. Turn that left glute on, rotate the rib cage, and then quarter turn to the left, lateral lunge, one breath. Quarter turn back around to the front, left knee down, right knee, table. Here's the move, right knee out, internally land, left arm, left leg, punch and kick. Step forward, goddess, turn to the right. Sink the hips, lift through the heart, inhale, arms up. Exhale, turn back around to the front, three-legged dolphin or dog. Hug that left thigh in your belly, bend the knee, and then circle. Outer circles, keep pushing the elbows down, and then switch. Send the leg straight back, breathe in. Left foot meets right, breathe out. Lift up onto your hands, straighten your arms, drag your hands back, happy squat. Inhale. And exhale, hands to your feet. Slide them up your legs, inhale. Right foot is your base. Lift your left knee like you're in a one-legged mountain here. Hands at the pelvic points, and then extend and point. Land, or taking our walk. Inhale, right leg up, extend, point, land. Left knee up and hold. Flex the ankle, figure four. Hands at the pelvic points, sit back. So you've got flexion there in your hip. And then if you feel pretty steady, left hand to your right shin, right hand to the sole of the foot, and push into these. Push right into that sole of that foot, push into the shin. Notice if you feel a little bit of a difference from where we just had our hands at the pelvic points, or if you typically keep your hands at heart center. This was like an eye-opening thing to me yesterday. It feels so good in my hip. And then come on up, release. Maybe shake it out a little bit. All right, find stillness, bring your hands to your heart. Let's open up, inhale, eyes open, look up, and then exhale, fold. Step back to plank. Breathe. We're gonna stay for 3, 2, and 1. Knees down, lower to your belly. We're gonna get into the chest wall a little bit with this stretch on our belly. So you're gonna take your left arm and you're gonna make a goalpost, half of a goalpost with it. And then put it on the ground, but move your hand up just a little without straightening the elbow. So the elbow becomes a little higher than the shoulder. Take your right hand by your chest. Look down at your mat. So this right hand's gonna support you here, elbow points up. Start to bend your left leg. So you're gonna bring the sole of the foot up and then externally rotate, internally rotate, and then roll onto your side and bend both knees and kind of stack them. I want to do this one this way so that you don't torque on your low back. We're mostly, I want the focus here to be in your chest wall. So stretching your pec muscle. See if you can just relax your legs. Feel free to close your eyes. Soften your face. Just breathe one more breath into the place you're feeling the most sensation, which hopefully is in that chest wall. And then come back onto your belly. Bring that arm down. So left hand is gonna be the thing that's kind of supporting you here. Right arm out, half a goalpost, and then move the hand up a little bit. So if you're looking at the corner of your mat, you're gonna move it up above the corner of your mat, elbow a little higher than your shoulder. And then bend your right leg. Internally start to roll or internally roll the leg in and then come onto your side. Relax the right temple down. And if the floor seems far away for your head, you can always just grab a throw pillow. Try to relax your legs. And ideally, I don't want you feeling anything in your low back here. It's just all in the chest wall, so deep in the pec muscle. Bring awareness to your breath. Relax around your eyes, your mouth, jawline. And then come on back onto your belly. Slide those hands next to your ribs. Engage the belly. Push yourself up and back, child's pose. And then reach your arms back, give your shoulders a little break. Rest the tops of the hands on the mat so the palms face up. And then slowly rise, lifting the head and the chest, sitting hips to heels. Let's come around onto our seat and then onto your back. Where we started, knees bent, feet on the ground, hands at the tops of the thighs. Lift your right leg, figure 4 here on your back. We're gonna traction our low back. So you're gonna keep the hands at the tops of the thighs, but then push those thighs away. So it's kind of like what we did in the beginning when we were lifting in that low bridge, but I want you to feel this more in your low back, that you're creating space between the vertebra. So you're pushing, shoulders are gonna shrug up by your ears because your arms are active. And then feel free to move, just tiny little bit of movement through your low body. And then release. Pick up that figure 4. Grab somewhere, either behind the back of the thigh or over your left shin. Draw those legs in. Chin is slightly tucked. Skull, shoulder blades, sacrum, all pretty level here. And then release. Unwind, switch sides. Let's pick up that left foot, ankle crosses. Hands to the tops of the thighs, and then just start to push your thighs away. You're gonna feel a little hollowing out in your belly too. Feel free to move a little bit, just barely little movement side to side. And then release, lift those feet, take your figure four. As you draw the legs in, again, keeping those, the triple S's, the three bony landmarks level and on the ground. And then release. We'll take either happy baby or hug your knees into your chest. Again, you want to try to have your sacrum on the mat if you're in happy baby, so everything is level. Release that. And let's take one last little twist here. Arms out wide, hips to the left, knees gently fall to the right. So we offset the hips so that when we go into the twist, we line up the pelvis, the hips, the pelvis, the chest, and the head and neck. You're welcome to keep your gaze up or turn your gaze to the left. Eyes can close. You just have that internal gaze. Breathing into your belly. And then come through the center. Lift your hips, scooch them to the right. Let your knees fall to the left. You might turn your head to the right. Soften the belly. Just breathe easy. And come on back to center. Send your legs down your mat. Setting yourself up for Shavasana. So since you're at home, you probably have pillows, blankets. Grab what you would like for this. This Shavasana is very short just because I'll run out of time, but I always invite my students to stay, pause the video when you're all set and ready, and stay. Stay for 10 minutes. Stay for 20 minutes. If you only have a couple minutes though, then just be here with me, keep letting the video run. Find a place that you can be completely still. A place that you're comfortable. And then simply let go. If you're ready to move on, begin to invite small movements into the body. Just doing what feels good for you. And then in your own way, your own time, making your way to a seat. Once you're upright, just finding that tall spine, lifting the heart space, grounding down through the seat, bringing the palms together in front of the heart. Just taking a moment to bring to mind just a couple things you're grateful for this morning or whenever you're doing this video. And then turning the corners of your mouth slightly up, creating that hint of a smile. Your nervous system can feel that. And with much love and gratitude, thanks for being here. Namaste.